otherwise known by regular folks as a wireless access point, or WAP. But that's got negative connotations nowadays, so we just call them APs, I guess. I wouldn't say necessarily that that's a negative connotation. It's just a unseemly thing to say. On with the story. I don't know. I've thought about this quite a bit, and I'm not doing these anymore. This is it. This is the last one for a while. If I do these, it'll be, you know, wing and a prayer, whim type of deal. But I miss doing covers. And my time to really do them was like Saturday morning, Saturday night, and Mondays. You know, every time the wife is out of the house. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be helpful as well. So a couple of years ago, before I started doing these, what I meant to do was just kind of have a quick interaction with some folks. I don't know, do this kind of video blog style. Turn into, never got money or anything. I didn't expect it to, but I did expect to still have the time that I had before, to still be able to accomplish the wants that I had, but I didn't. And that must change. And then there's the work thing, which, you know, takes it out of you. But I acquired a few things coming back from vacation that I do this too much. So I do this 3 times a day. And I am, well, going through changes, as Black Sabbath would put it. So there's, you know, obligations outside of here, obligations for myself that I wanted to do with the channel that I haven't been doing because I've been doing these, and feeling obligated towards other people who don't give me money to do things that they want. So let's talk shop, or do give me money, and I do have obligations to them. But that's where the other change bit is coming. I'm stopping that. There's no reason to continue. I won't put up restrictions on whim like I used to. Instead, I'll do the things that I expected of myself in the first place, and that the channel done for me, or would be Wow, what a way to end things. I had the wrong, what's that, phantom power engaged. It's a good thing I'm not really, really loud in here. Well, thanks for piping up, JD. Real cool of you. Well, for any lip readers out there, yeah, I'm hoping it works now. For any lip readers, good or bad out there, I hope that you got what I was saying, but I'll filter it back in every once in a while. Filter some of that info back in every once in a while. How you been, JD? You good? Today is a true pajama jam because I got the first good night's sleep in 2 weeks. No joke. Last night I woke up at just a little after 7:30, and normally with these things, man, I like, shower, get myself kind of at least a little stable, and then come on downstairs and do the thing. Not today. Today it was cats and more cats. Kiddo came downstairs. I'm a little late to the start of it too because of that. She couldn't find her keys to go to work. Hey Zuhair, how are you, man? So glad you're good, by the way, JD. Me, going through changes, as Black Sabbath would say. But I'm going to tell you this much. News and, kind of exciting news here is that I think that me looking for the ultimate dual overdrive over the last several weeks, as any chance I got, spare time, has just got to, I don't need to do that anymore. Why? Well, I finally figured out pedal sort order, and I figured out which two pedals gives me the sound that I'm actually looking for. Also a slight tweak to my parametric EQ. Oh man, I'm sorry about your back pain. Have you tried? I've had back pain, so I'm going to ask you what things you've tried. Chiropractor, yes, that's important. Crack your bones, stretch you out quite a bit. It's good for you. Depending on where the back pain is, traction may be helpful, may not. What is that stuff called? Like inversion therapy, where you're hanging upside down, decompression therapy. So, okay, the sound I'm looking for is like a very clear, but very sustainy and easy to play, because that's a thing, overdrive. So, it's hard for me to really, I know the sound, it's kind of one of those things where you know it when you hear it. I want a little bit of quack in the signal when you pick, but I don't want too much. I want it to kind of whistle a little bit when you stop. You know how it just kind of fades in and out of the fundamental and has a little bit more, few overtones that you hear now and again. What you're hearing is a very, very close approximation. I might have a little bit of EQ tweaking to go, but as far as like the amount of gain is concerned, yeah, sustain's great. And it's irrespective of guitar. I just chose this today because it's kind of what I started streaming with. And, well, it's not exactly, but it's pretty close to it. And I felt like it. So, my Charvel, I will never go away. So, well, let me tell you what I've got as a signal chain here. This is natural sustain. So, we can just let that go. I love how the note kind of changes a little bit in character as it blooms and blossoms. And then you're starting to hear the fundamental fade out and the harmonic stay. One of the things that helps with sustain is good fretwork. It's my fretwork. And when you vibrato a little bit and the fretwork is just right, that actually bows the string a little so it increases your sustain. It's artificially done, but it does help. So I'm glad to hear that you're mostly recovered. Pain meds aren't the answer to everything, man. That's kind of like there's a somebody that I work with that has this real problem with like troubleshooting PCs, and it's always very frustrating and very hilarious to hear him say that something went wrong because you didn't apply an update, and that's like saying that you have a headache because you didn't take Tylenol. That doesn't solve the problem. That's not the root of the problem. All you're doing is, you're throwing something at it that has worked for you in the past because there was a legitimate glitch in some programming, but it's not a panacea, and he thinks it is. It's absolutely nuts. So it's the same type of thing with the pain meds. It's not really solving the problem. It's masking the problem. If you get the problem sorted, if you can get the problem sorted, that's obviously the better solution. So as far as the tone is concerned, let me come up with some examples. I really like the sound of Frank Gambale, especially from way back in the day when he was like with Chick Corea, for instance. And I really like the sound of Alan Holdsworth, but I'm not trying to go after that sound. I'm trying to marry the Frank Gambale tone with guys with slightly clearer sounds like Brett Garsed, stuff like that. TJ Helmrich, maybe. I'm after a shreddy tone that doesn't have a lot of gain. And in order to do that, you kind of have to do pedal combinations. The reason why I think that I've solved my problem is because I've been avoiding something actively for a while now. No, as far as pitch is concerned, and I've got myself in parallel right now, by the way. So if you're affecting vibrato on the note, the pitch is changing. So up or down. So in this case, it's up. In this case, it's down. But the fundamental note decays, leaving the harmonic behind. I love that. It's really great. But so what I've been doing though, to try to figure out this whole tone thing is I started gain staging, and that's why I was thinking like the Wampler dual fusion may be the solution for me. That's really close to the sound that I wanted to get. But you can't really, I guess, flip it around just, one side to the other side back to the one. And so what I've been doing, though, is something that I've been doing since I was a kid, which is low gain into high gain. And that always seems to, kind of not do the trick for the tone that I'm after, or that I've been after for years now. But what it does is get me, a lot of gain and a lot of sustain and sometimes a lot of noise. So if you gain stage right, and literally, by the way, this was like the first thing that I did when I got downstairs this morning, besides give the cats treats and get my vitamins in me, is swap pedal order. So I'm going now from a higher gain to a lower gain, which again, I've been avoiding that for the longest time, and that's the way answer to the problem. But it's also, not completely the answer. The answer also lies in the type of distortion, the type of gain that you're using. So I'm using 2 overdrive pedals, higher gain into lower gain. And that here is, the higher gain is also set to a jazz setting, not a rock, which means it's at about half the gain, as usual, using the extra special overdrive from Mojo Hand. Hi there, Hoppy. And by the way, again, I can recommend that, hands down. It's not a cheap pedal. I got mine for a pretty good price, though. So, it's out there, $100 straight across the board. And I was happy when I got it because it sounds by itself just like Neil Schon, and that makes me very happy. I like his sound too. Oh yeah, wrap a little bit of Satriani expressiveness in there as well. So when you're doing stuff like this, that it comes through, and that's like on 2 here. Use your volume now, by the way. Dynamics and expressiveness are fantastic, so. Oh, dude, yeah. Low gain. Lower gain is really where it's at. All the bands we listen to, with the exception of Iron Savior, I have a review for you, by the way, on that. All of these things, they have much lower gain than we think they do, and it's mostly because of the production. They have more low end than we think they do. They have less low end than we think they do also, because the bassist is actually covering that ground most of the time, and we just kind of hear it as an extra bit of low end on the guitar. I mean, listen, if you listen to Wild Side from Motley Crue, for instance, I'm not going to say that, you've got to listen to this, but this particular track, I used to think the whole... And also, I am designing this sound for the leads that I like to hear. So this is not a rhythm channel at all. But that was primarily caused, was, yes, Mick Mars doing... But that extra heaviness that you're hearing is, of course, Nikki Sixx on the low end doing the same. But yeah. So what you're doing is absolutely right path. You are on it. Stay on it. Because artist tones, a good way of kind of matching the sound is to turn the gain way low, and then just kind of increment it up a little bit at a time. And eventually you'll find where it's just kind of, it sits right. And that's probably it. If you can isolate their guitar sound, that's much better. But if you're doing a cover, the best thing you are after really is getting your sound to sit in the mix. And hopefully your sound is as close to theirs as possible, but it still has to sit in the mix and not squash frequencies. With the exception of the guitars that you're playing over. So, let me grab my water here. Excuse me. Actually, this is not water. I've got water to follow up. This is electrolytes in water and some exogenous ketones, because diets are fun. Fast as a Shark is one of my favorite songs in the world. I love that song, and the first time I ever heard it was on a video game, actually. Was that... Oh, God. Can't think of it now. I've got it on Steam, I think. Oh, GOG. I haven't played it in years, but when I first heard it, I'm like, this is great! And I could tell it was Accept because, Udo Dirkschneider sounds like Udo. There's nobody who sounds exactly like him. Golly, man, where is it? Oh, maybe it's underinstalled. I intended to play it again, but I just never have. No, it must be Steam. Jack Black. Yeah, dude, that tune is great. And I had intended to do it as a cover, which brings me to the topic of the show, which is called All Good Things. And if you are familiar with Star Trek, there's a thing about that. I think that was the last episode. So let's see here. It's not in GOG. All right, so Steam probably. Let's use all of my 64 gigs of RAM. I should probably update to 128, though. I do use the crap out of this machine. Steam is updating, of course. There we go. Here we are. Hi, Steam. Give me a second on this. My goodness, where's my library? What the heck? Huh. It's well, screw it. This is what the internet's for anyway. Unlike the song that came out a while ago, the internet is not for porn. It's for information. Unless it's guitar porn. Which is still information. So, video. I'm really spacing on the name today. Really spacing on the name. Brutal Legend. Oh my God. I wouldn't put that in my top 10, but maybe top 50 games of all time if I had an actual list for that. But yeah, the first time I ever heard it was there, and I just thought it was just fantastic. How many times can I say just in one sentence, huh? All right. As it is right now, there's still a little too much high mids, and I want to dial that back. That's going to be done via a Para EQ. I could probably fool with the tone a little bit here, but maybe move that to a little bit higher end or maybe a little bit lower mid. But other than that, we're pretty good. That's pretty close. It's not it, but it's pretty close. Fiddle a little bit and we're good. Oh, you think so? Yes, these are one of my favorite PJs. What I was considering wearing today, though, is just cats all the way down. It's not warm enough for that here in the Pacific Northwest yet, but cats all the way down is kind of my motto for life. You know, it's I'm sure you've heard of like the Greek mythology thing. You know, where or early mythos that we're on the back of a turtle. All right, well, what's that turtle on the back of? Or, you know, they're like, silly boy, it's turtles all the way down. Well, it's just cats on the pants all the way down. It's pretty great. So, yes, they're a cheerful pair, though. And they're very comfortable, all nice and fleece. So, yeah, that's pretty close. Still has a little harshness on the high end, which I'll need to dial out. Yeah, I'm going to have to dial that back. I'll take the roundness over this a little bit. Okay. And as I was saying, it's a matter of gain staging for the sound generally. And it was doing something that was completely counterintuitive to me, which is running higher gain into lower gain. And using that as just kind of a maybe a little bit of a post boost. Taking the platform, as it were, of a tone that you like generally, which I do, like the extra special is great, and running it into a plumes, which barely has any gain on it. There's 3 settings for different stages, but number 2, and I'll just equalizing the level and bringing the gain up just a little bit to give it a little extra crackliness, and then adjusting the tone to see fit. So this is really close. But I've been looking at stuff, man. I've even considered getting like the ridiculously priced $339 Brown Amplification Protein, for instance. And I think that's one of the best sounding pedals I've ever heard. I'm getting sounds like that here, so I'm not probably going to go ahead and be stupid and buy one. It's not stupid to buy one. If you got the means, go for it. But you know, that's a lot of coin for a single pedal that happens to be a double pedal. So now I think the best thing I could probably say though about the tone that I'm chasing is there's a little bit of a lot of things in there. I want versatility, but the versatility I want really will come from the dynamics of pick attack and, you know, volume adjustment. Right? That kind of thing. Ross, hey, it's you! RGST Gaming. You have the most unpronounceable name. I'm assuming, though, that RGST stands for something. It's got to be an acronym because, you know, unpronounceable name, unless you're really German, you know, unpronounceable names are, well, unpronounceable and very difficult. So just, hey, man, how you been? No, I'm doing okay. I've got a lot of life stuff going on right now, and I just got off of 2 weeks of the longest year of my life. No. I got that backwards. I'm sorry. I got off several months, I should say, concentrated into the last 2 weeks, and it was really, if I didn't go on vacation before, I don't think I would have been able to handle all the stuff. I mean, for instance, last Saturday I worked like 19 and a half hours, and then another 7.5 the very next day after 4 hours of sleep, and it's all good, man. All good. You don't have to remember that. It's okay. Let's see. Something I played a bit ago, plus my tone sounded like Sean Lane. Yeah, you say, okay, Sean Lane is a huge influence of mine, and the tones that he got is definitely on that plane, that menu. That's, there's a lot of it there. I'd like a little bit less gain, but at the same time, it's so good, I don't really want to complain. And when I do the less gain, I can do less gain by just giving myself less gain here. That's, as long as it's all available when I need it. Roll it off. And then, when you decide to go nuts and do the Shawnee type of stuff. It's there's a whole lot of fun to be had with that. But no, what is that? The live version of I keep coming up with like Yngwie Malmsteen titles here, like Prelude to April, which I love, but it's Epilogue for Lisa. The live version of that from his Power. I want to say Power. I think it's on Power Lines. Or Power Leads. It's that always really touched my heart. That's really good stuff. And the tone is so perfect for it. Absolutely lovely. So your guitar is, I'm glad to hear it. How is the V? If I remember correctly. Comfortable? Need that strap like I talked about? Some people go ahead and buy like a little strip of something. Place it here. That way when you're sitting it here, it doesn't just go ahead and go slidey, it's a little more, straight up. So, Well, in celebration, though, of your instrument, maybe I should go ahead and grab the Rhodes. It's been a long time since I played that. And I've had my guitars for sale for 3 months now, and not a single taker. Sad state out there. So I need to find another me to go ahead and take some of my stuff off of my hands so willingly as I purchased them. So, is it really? Dude, that's great. I mean, look, buying sight unseen is always kind of like one of those things where, is it going to be any good? I don't know. It's there's a lot of like, if we didn't have such a high trust society, I should probably say, this kind of thing would be impossible. But because I bought so many guitars online and not really sight unseen, unplayed for sure. I'll get to you in a second. I'll just put it this way: 90% of all instruments that I've purchased, or more, actually, over the last 10 years, when I bought them online, have had issues that I've had to resolve, figure out what they are, mostly fretwork, and then resolve them. There are some other things like congenital defects, like design flaws that you have to deal with on occasion. But let's see. Also, if it comes broken, how do you know the seller didn't broke it during shipping? Yeah, it's a tough one. You have to. That's the high trust part, right? So you have to kind of give the seller faith that, or extend them your faith that what they're shipping you is what they've placed for sale. At least to a large degree, being represented correctly and accurately, as much as possible in the sale thing. But, still. I mean, I still want to hear my pick attack. By the way, back to tone real quick. I still want to hear my pick attack. I just want it to not be quacky. And if I was to put a finer point on the quackiness, like Blind Guardian, all the leads, like, anything that they do, it's not like that. I don't have any examples on hand, but there's a large, like, pick attack, like a cocked wah, cluck, 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 cluck. I really don't like that. I want to kind of down at something. Well, thank you. I will give it my best shot. I might still be here in 30 minutes. Enjoy yourself. Do your thing. Have breakfast for me. Let's see here. Back to this. It happens sometimes. I had a Hamer Scepter back in the day that came with a broken headstock and was repaired pretty well until a friend of mine borrowed the guitar and decided to show how well constructed they were, and then hit the headstock against a wall, breaking it off again. He fixed it very poorly, putting two screws, nuts, bolts, washers through the busted portion of the headstock just to hold it on. And I was always really pissed about that. I eventually, I believe I re-glued it, but you can't remove the freaking holes that he drilled through it to do it. He did not take it to a professional. And yeah, well, I don't have that guitar anymore either, but I gave him the option to go ahead and buy it from me. And he was like, yeah, I'll buy it. And never gave me any money. I'm like, dude, I'm taking it back. And then I gave it to a luthier. Have a good time with it. After I stripped it of everything, I took the original Floyd Rose off of it. I took the pickups out of it, sold them. Sold everything. Yeah, then I was working on this like a project guitar for a while, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do anything with this. I don't know what I'm doing anyway at the time. So I gave it to a luthier friend. But most of the time, when a headstock breaks and is repaired correctly, the guitar will sound just fine. It's not like the Gibson curse, where if you want a good sounding Gibson, you break the headstock and have it repaired. I don't know where these things come from. But repairing the headstock, you're not adding any mass. So you're not really improving the tone. You're not adding any kind of, you're if you do it correctly, you're adding some rigidity to it, but you're not doing anything else. So, oh no, yeah, that's not a stupid question. That's a great question. Trees suck. We need to cut them all down to build things like houses and stuff. They'll grow back. Well, they don't grow back. We can plant more. So, well, technically they will grow back. A lot of them, a lot of them do. I'm not like you cut them down and they regrow from the stump, but you cut them down and they already have their seeds planted around them, so they'll grow. Trees are the most reusable crop that mankind has ever, not invented. We didn't invent trees, obviously. We didn't invent trees, but it's an extremely renewable resource. All we have to do is plant some trees, wait for 30 years, depending on the type of tree. If it's a hardwood, it might be a little longer. And, then bulldoze them down and use them to do things like make baseball bats and houses and guitars. Oh, God, guitars. Maybe other musical instruments as well. It was the original plastic, they grow on trees. It's the great thing. So I'm not an environmentalist. I hate pollution. I just don't like environmentalism. Because that's kind of a crap religion that is all about communism and control. So, and that's the truth. So that's that. More guitars. Absolutely more guitars. I do like trees. I'm very fond of trees, actually. But I also ascribe to the notion of paving the rainforest to allow civilization to flourish. So, yeah. A little out. Little out. No. It's cute, isn't it? Well, no. Anyway, so I've gone through an awful lot of interesting things lately. The challenges of the last couple of weeks have been a good windfall, a good boon. I didn't realize that I actually missed IT work. I thought I hated it. It's still a real frustration to me, knocking my head against the wall for certain problems, but coming up with a solution to them is always really, really rewarding and kind of cathartic, and I enjoy doing that kind of, especially troubleshooting with large groups of people. Have you tried this? Well, it's got to be this. Okay, if it's that, and they're running through the logic. If it is what you say it is, then this, and this, you're just discounting these three things, 2 or 3 things that disprove that theory. So it can't be what you're saying because these work. That I love that kind of stuff. It really, really fills me with it's a challenge and it's great and it is rewarding, like I said before. Sometimes financially even. I mean, look at it this way. I put in 64 hours last week and 51 or 52 this week. So, yeah. That's support desk, and I have been acting as unofficially a support desk person for the last several. Well, technically, I've been acting as support desk. I'm not IT. I'm going to remind you of this. That's not what I do for a living. But it is rolled into what I do for a living because it is what I used to do for a living. So support desk role is basically just troubleshooting and solving people's problems. In this case, I'm talking about troubleshooting and solving the problems of an entire network being installed. So that's different. That's fun. That's actually fun. So you're working with engineers and you're working with a lot of higher level folks in the organization, a couple of different teams at the same time. Yeah, over teams as well. And, trying to sort out why it is that certain things aren't working when they should after, the installation process. And a lot of it has to do with this. Oh, you don't have internet now? Hold on. It's in the wrong port or something like that. Or they mapped the ports slightly wrong. Like you'll have port 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're color coded. And the computers don't change the port. They don't just magically unplug, plug into a different one. But they stay there. And so the port mapping took it from the keystone in the wall to the patch panel to the switch. And what wound up happening is they just wired this to a different port on the patch panel. So you just go, done. And oh, look, the internet's back. It can be stupid, simple stuff like that. But, good morning. Well, or afternoon or evening or good night, depending on, what time it actually is over there. But good morning to you. Nice to see you again. So, no, I was trained as a network engineer. I used to have some chops, but I've been away from that for a long, long time. But the company that I work for appreciates my knowledge about some things, and my ability to troubleshoot things has been proven pretty good. So I don't have access. That's the biggest difference between myself and an actual IT person. I am not an admin anymore. That's something that you've missed, by the way. When you're in your admin, when you're God, and then you step back down to plebeian level, there's a longing for power. I can understand. I have sympathy for the devil in the same respect. Going from such high status to literally nothing. From the pinnacle to the pit, it's a long way down, right? So, yeah. You want to wake up screaming, I highly recommend IT. It's my God! I'm sorry for yelling, but that is exactly why I left IT in the first place. Because of that. I would wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, no joke, panic attack setting in. Did I do the thing? And I would have to run downstairs, middle of the night. And I worked swing shift, so middle of the night for me is I've been in bed since 4 o'clock in the morning, and middle of the night is 8 a.m. and I'm awake, startled. I'll run downstairs where the computer is, VPN in, and figure out if I did do the thing or not, so I could sleep easily. And if I didn't do the thing, I woke up with a panic for a good reason, and then make the thing happen. Then I can go back to sleep and go damn. Hope that didn't affect too many people. I call it good. Usually it was only a single person. Adding a person in Active Directory is a very low-level IT task. But getting in there and adding them in, there's a little checkbox that this one was always the one that got me. And the thing is, I almost always did do the thing because it gets me so much. But did I mail enable the client? That's such a big one. That got me at least 2 or 3 times for real in my last job. So did I mail enable the client? Yes. Okay. I can go back to sleep. It's so dumb, but at the same time, this is people's jobs that you're working with. You are facilitating their ability to actually do what they are paid to do, and it's on you to make sure that they can actually do that. So it's stupidly high stress, and it shouldn't be. But it's the type of personality, right? Like, you want to do well, you really, really want to do well, you give a shit, you care. Then it's going to bother you like crazy. If you don't, then, if you're a psychopath, then that's fine. You're going to do great things, and you may suck, but you're not going to give a shit. So. I give everybody license and liberty to play, by the way. Just play, noodle around, find some notes, and find where they take you. Do try to use your brain, your ears, to guide you on your path. Like, I think I want to take this roller coaster up. I think I want to take it back down again. I think there's a little loop in there, like... that kind of thing. So... No, I don't know. I think so. I don't know if it's care about the person versus care about yourself. And I know that there's kind of a recursion that takes place in there because there's no such thing as a selfless act. Unless it involves your literal sacrifice to save somebody. But even then, and that you didn't mean to. So that means it's a selfless act. So, I mean, you saved somebody intentionally, but it costs you your life. That's definitely selfless. But the rest of it, I mean, without regard to self and going to do the thing to make sure they're okay. But, in a way, that can also be painted as a selfish act because you want them saved. So if it's somebody you don't know and you lay your life down for them, that's a selfless act. So just, to make sure they're okay. But, I mean, so they do, I think, exist. There's degrees of reason here that I've gone through. I've pored over it. If there is such a thing as a selfless act, what would that look like? What would that entail? And even then, there's still a little selfishness in it. Why do you want that person to live? Because we're moral, because it's good to do that. I mean, what if they're Hitler, and you don't know it, or what if they're going to become the next Hitler, I should say. And, you don't know. Of course you don't know it because it's the future. And nobody knows what that's going to bring. Well, I guess you died saving the person that's going to ruin the planet for a while. But nevertheless, you thought you were doing the right thing. Then there's no harm with that. So just letting people go, I think, is wrong. So it's in the same token, though, a surgeon can be extremely good at their work and very careful about their work just to make sure that they further their career. I mean, that's probably not how most of them operate, but I'm just suggesting that's the thing. It is that, the case with like financial advisors, for instance. But they're going to care about you because if you do well by them, they're going to do well. You see what I mean? Oh, yeah. About the nurses and abuse of the elderly. On point, dude. On point. They'll paint a good picture and then just be psychos behind the scenes because that's who they really are. Helping beggars is selfish a little bit because we're trying to make ourselves feel better, trying to help them out, even though we're actually just enabling them because none of them ever go away. I've seen beggars for 3, 4, 5 years get money every single day and then don't do anything with it except for expend it on drugs and alcohol. So that's an additional problem. And I have a theory about this. Keep in mind, I did for a long time consider changing the name of the channel to The Conservative Guitarist. That they actually would be better off 100% because of the resources poured into and the programs poured into rehabilitation. Take them off the streets, clean them up, give them 3 squares, and educate them. Try to really like detox them and get them some real help. And we can do that in the prison system, where the homeless thing up here in Pacific Northwest, at least, costs $130,000 a year. They've done the average, or they've run the numbers, and that's the average per homeless person. It costs the taxpayers $130,000 a year to offer them assistance to run these programs. Prisons cost $30,000 a year per inmate. Did they do anything wrong? Should they be arrested? Well, they're degrading society. That's kind of a holistic problem. But if we actually gave a shit about them, if we cared about them, this would be better than what they've got now. And you don't have to treat them like a total inmate. They didn't do anything really wrong. Minimum security prisons. So, give them free access to books, libraries, 3 squares, like I said, a nice place to sleep. They'll be fine. Much better off than now. And certainly we would be as well, because we wouldn't have like caravans of campers lining the streets or, it's the third world, man. They are living off the backs of everyone else, not contributing, just polluting. And I told you I hate pollution. So anyway. Nope, haven't heard about that. But that whole thing sounds like that's a real good scam. It would work with me. Okay, so as far as some of you know, I think what you're referring to, my dear black-pilled one, is the 4 homeless camps within 5 blocks of my house. It was 5 homeless camps within 4 blocks of my house, but one of them is gone. Thank God. It is, and so I've extended out the range a little bit, and that's about the extent of it. So I think that's what you're referring to. The one that's gone, very happy about it. Very happy about it. And that, I think, is the one literally that you're referencing. Is the one like 2 blocks down. And as I start to go down a hill, they're over there on the left-hand side. That's gone. So that eyesore and property value lowering piece of crap people, they more than just one person, they're out. Lucky. Yeah, so if they needed formula, all well and good, I'd be happy to provide. I mean, that's the thing. The difference, of course, is feeding someone for a day versus teaching them how to, eat, find food and eat for themselves, eat for a lifetime. The whole thing about, teach a man a fish, teach a man a fish. Hey, man, this is a fish. Teach a man to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. It's the same kind of principle. You're not really helping them by enabling their current situation, but if they really need help, there's no reason why you shouldn't actually help them. But the problem is today, how do you know? So, if it's laid on your heart to help everybody you see, you're going to go broke doing it. You have to have some pragmatism. So otherwise you're going to be right there with them, and then you'll actually need help, and maybe you won't be addicted to fentanyl, or being a zombie in the middle of the streets like we have a lot of those downtown now. It seems like our general in-town homeless problem is increasing, and it is not cool. And it's all drug-driven and a bunch of lazy slackers, really. Well, it's hard to live out here. No, I don't think it is in comparison to actually having responsibility. Having responsibility and discipline, so, you can actually take part in and be successful at maintaining that responsibility, maybe growing in the responsibility, fostering, the faith and trust other people have in you to do the thing that you need to do. I think that, they're just human waste. I'm not talking about getting rid of them. I want to help them, but giving them money doesn't help them. So it just helps them do the thing that has been keeping them there in the first place. It's a bunch of crap. So back to guitars. I don't need now, like I was saying, a dual pedal, I don't think. I'm still interested in trying, personally, the brown protein. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of something to it that, would really like fill my soul. But I do have a bit of a tragedy thing to mention as far as gear is concerned. I got, for my efforts over the last couple of weeks, a bit of recognition at work, and I've got a little extra cash as a result of that. That they tax now, thanks Joe Biden, who instituted that policy that gifts from work of gift cards or whatever or the value of the thing must be taxed per IRS. So isn't that lovely? Anyway, so but they gave me a couple $100, and I'm thinking I have been after something called a Cusack Yowler for a while. And the Cusack Yowler is just the Cusack Screamer, which is a tube screamer with like double the gain available, and it sounds really good. The Yowler variant was made for Bees Music. It's a music store, so Bees Music, it was an exclusive, and it's green instead of orange, and it has a kitty on it. And it's called the Good Kitty Cusack Yowler. And dang it, if there isn't such a thing in my house as a good kitty. So, yeah, the tax is called income tax, sir. So they figure that any kind of gift that has value, anything that has money. So this is one of the reasons why I'm against property taxes. But because what is property? People over property, that's communism. It's what is property, and how does one obtain it? You can obtain it, of course, via gifts, but property is usually obtained by the sweat of your brow. You go to work, you save the thing, you go and you get something that belongs to you. So this is my property, for instance. The fact that I have this is a testament to the fact that I worked to get it. See? So what is work? It is, for pay, that is. It is not just labor, but it's a matter of exchanging your life energy, a time that I'm never going to get back, to do something for someone else so they will give me something in return. So it's literally property being an extension of your life energy. I put my life out there. I literally, for the price of this thing, let's see, I worked an entire day and a half to buy this. I exchanged all of that time that I will never have back again to have this thing as a tangible reminder of that time, or just to have a really neat guitar that plays very well. And so the way it should be viewed as far as like acquisition of property by itself, like this, should never, you should never have someone grift a piece of it from you. And remember what government is. Government is constituted of other people. It's not just this big structure that we think, oh, it's the government, so, we naturally, herald them with a higher status. No. They're people like you and me. I mean, the only difference maybe is a title and the hat they wear. But, it's kind of like the Pope, right? It's what's the difference between the Pope and me? Well, there's a lot of, I think, innate differences. I'm not Catholic. But, it's his clothes. It's the hat. That's it. I don't wear that stuff. But, he's got the title. That's what he wears. So, I'm not the Pope, though. So, well, that's I don't think that thievery in the IRS. I do not believe, as a core belief, that the IRS, being consisting solely of other people, are entitled to anything that belongs to you as property. And money is something that we work for, so therefore money is also property. The income tax is the most aberrant grift on mankind. It's extortion, but it's the most disgusting, vulgar display of power that has ever been foisted on humankind by other people. This is literally like your neighbor saying, in order to live next to me, you've got to give me $20. Same. But, they're saying, I want up to 25% of what you make. Actually, up to 35, depending. And up to nearly 50 for capital gains. So, and what's capital gains? It's the money that you've earned working for you, making money for itself on top of itself. So, it's not thievery at all. They're stealing from you. That's literally, well, it's extorting it from you, because it's still at the point of a gun. If you don't give them the money that they claim that you owe them, like we owed $300 this year, for instance, for no freaking reason. Thanks, Joe Biden again. Thanks, Democrat Party, actually. So it's your tax policies. I claim zero and married but withhold at single rate, and somehow still we wind up owing. What the hell is that? So anyway, in other words, I pay my taxes. Thank you. So, and I shouldn't. I don't think anybody should have to. So that's just it's a moral sin to do against another person. But extortion, the point of a gun. If you don't give it, they're going to take your shit, all of it. What the hell's up with that? They call it civil asset forfeiture. You forfeit everything you have because you owe $300 supposedly to somebody who says you owe them $300. Why? The price of living in a democracy. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. We live in a republic, not a democracy. Democracy is mob rule. It's, three sheep, or what is that? Three wolves and one sheep deciding what's for dinner. So now you know how I really feel. And if Blue Mox was on, he would agree. I'm pretty sure. But this is the first day that I've really got to play guitar in 2 weeks. I played a little bit, but I've been exhausted. I've had a lot of other stuff on my plate, which gets me to the point of the name of the stream. I'm not going to do these anymore. I like you guys' company, by the way. I really, really do. This is has nothing to do with you guys. This is why I do it, is because of the people that have matriculated in to my life. But most of you still contact me through other means, so it's no longer really necessary, I don't think, to do this. But my thing is, I've got a lot of other shit going on. And at the same time, Mondays and Saturdays being the only free days I typically have to do stuff like this, I miss writing music. I'm not writing a lot anymore, and I want to write more. And I used to do them on Mondays and Saturdays. I really miss doing covers, and I haven't done, I think, more than one this year, and that's just not acceptable. And I used to do those on Saturdays or Mondays because that's when the wife is out of the house and while I'm home. Usually that's the time that I get set aside that I can just kind of devote it and do stuff. But I haven't given myself a chance to do those because I'm doing these. But I want to do those. And so I think a return to form is necessary. Boy, this whole thing with my vacation changing me and life changing, for sure. You can just start to see some things clearly. And one of the things that I saw clearly was that I wasn't getting on my channel doing the things that I started the channel to do, which is covers the majority of the time. So yeah, it is. It's. I don't want to call any of you a distraction at all, because you're not. I enjoy talking with you all. I prefer to do it over like a Zoom call or Discord, going live or something like that, and then everybody just join in and talk. Because I think that would be great, like a hangout. Or everybody just fly to the Pacific Northwest, and I will take you all out for a cup of coffee. Not like I'm made of money, but I do have this gift card burning a hole in my pocket. So $50. But I also have a bit of time thievery, in a good way, going on outside of all of this. There's no guitar involved, for instance, and there's no work involved. But I have been going on walks every single day, within reason, mostly like every other day, with a friend of mine over, we'll just go downtown and walk around a lake, or we'll go down over to the falls and walk around the falls for a while. But it's always like, kind of let's go out and do walking things. And it's pretty great, but it does take up a couple hours in my afternoons as well. So there's that. But that's more like, hey man, I need some sun. I need to go outside. I need to touch grass. I need to breathe in open air. Oh look, it's low tide. That's fine. It's open air. We've been going out on a regular basis here, and it's been pretty neat. Wish my wife would go with me. She does not go with me, but wish, type of thing. Doesn't get you in. Wishing gets you nothing. That's something I taught my daughter at a very young age. If you want something, you have to pursue it, and literally, work to obtain it, whatever it is, unless it's impossible, and then you have to be able to discern the difference. So, like, I want to fly, can't fly. I tend to stray from the book thing while I'm walking. In fact, I tend to stray from distractions like phone or anything else. And the reason is sometimes where I'm walking, walked up at Priest Point Park. Well, it's not called that anymore. I think it's called Squaxin because the Pacific Northwest is stupid. But they changed it. You made a thing, then you changed the name to, like ancestral BS. Come on, knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. You're just giving away culture here. Stop it. So giving away culture we've rightfully taken. We're allowing ourselves suicide as a nation, being like reconquered through like suicidal cells. It's nuts. It's nuts. But so yes, they renamed the park that I went to. They've got nice nature trails all back through there. And I guarantee you, if I was reading a book, I would have been on the ground more times than I'd be tripping all over the place, man. It would have been funny. So. But I tend not to do that. It's more along the lines of just a little conversation, walking around and looking at the marvel of Mother Nature, and trees, and sometimes lakes, and sometimes waterfalls. So it's really, really cool just to get out and go again. Feels really nice. I used to go for walks all the time. My wife, my kid, and I, we all would like pack it up and head over to a nature trail, and just walk around for a couple hours, and then, get back in the car and feel good. Even if we didn't accomplish anything, we'd still feel good. And that's so... Yes. Well, physical book notwithstanding, even if you're holding the thing, you're still not watching where you're going. I would have been tripping all over the place, man. It's funny. There's roots, coming out of the ground. You just have to be careful a little bit. So, well, at any rate... this is going to be it. I'm not doing the Monday thing anymore. I'm not doing the Saturday thing anymore. If I do, these are going to be like rare things that it's just like, all right, I'm feeling in a good place. I'll just pop back on. But there's not going to be any, weekly stuffs anymore. That I've got to get back to covers. I've got a long list of instructional videos I've got to do. I've got a long list. Oh, yeah. And Patreon's going away, too. Just not in the place for it. I need to buy that. Link, please. Link. Etsy. It was on Etsy. Thank you. ETSY.com. Guitar pick. Oh, actually, you sent me a link a long time ago. And you! I've got an obligation to you to do a thing with the music and the stuff. With the, type of deal. Replicating Blaze to the best of my possible abilities. Well, with that, this kind of thing out of the way, I'll have more time to actually do that. So, I think it was brass, guitar, pick, cat. Let's browse together, shall we? Look at all this. Cool cat. Hey, they misspelled it. Those are interesting. That's cute. Oh my God. You know who else is cute? Hopper. He's been here the whole time. I like that one. That wasn't it, though. I don't think that was it. You know what? Yes, the Shrek cover. Exactly. I owe you that. Because, Promises are promises. Well, now that's interesting. Ooh, I want to play this. Oh, today's pick, by the way, is another fake Dunlop Tortex in 1.14 millimeter. And, you know, I'm kind of dropping back a little bit on the thicker picks. The 1.5s are good. They're fun. This is closer to 2, I want to say. But I don't have my reading glasses on. Yeah, 1.5. And it sounds fine, but I like the give. This has just a little bit of give to it. And I don't like a lot of give, but, you know, a little bit of give is good. All right. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty. Oh, I love the colors. It's very Halloween. I like shopping. So, but at any rate, yeah. So, that's precious. Man, okay, now I'm being saturated. I'm just going to go ahead and go on to Discord and take a look. Hello, Discord starting up and all that stuff. I'm going to move this over as soon as it comes up. Actually, I could just go at main. Where are we? Hello. There we go. Uno momento, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you know, Julia, we talk a lot. Or at least we did, then I got busy. But I could say it in a way that would be more innuendo than truth, and then I got busy. So, yeah. Let's see here. All right, there's that. God, this was a month ago, maybe 2. So let's see. But no, yeah, and I've got other life-changing stuff happening here at the house as well, but it doesn't really affect the guitar playing so much. Weird things, odd things, good stuff. Hey, within a half an hour, like you said, amazing, amazing, very good, man, very good. So. Well, Zuhair, I'm very glad to have met you through these interesting, the conversations we've had have been interesting and all this. So you come back anytime. Remember, as you do remember, I'm on Discord. Oh, I was going to give you the Iron Savior thing. Good songs. I don't like the guy's lead guitar tone. It's too fuzzy for me. I like a clearer sound, and I think there's too much cocked wah in the signal. And as a result of the thing being like... It's not even, banked as far as the signals are concerned when he's harmonizing. It's kind of straight and narrow. The things that he's playing with the envelope filter that's on it kind of makes it kind of ditch a little bit. It's almost like there's some phasing effect in there that was unintentional, but it makes the guitar weirdly quiet in a couple of places when he's playing like harmonized leads. But aside from that, hey, good songs. Nice recommendation. Thank you. But that's my take. I will have a good time in the future, and you will see me again. Somewhere. There a search? There is. Ah! Oh, that's the giant amber guitar pick. What do we got here? Ah, bingo. Gotcha. All right, add to cart. Here we go. For everybody who wants to see... Oh, wait. Yeah, let's close that for a second. For everybody who wants to see it, you can thank our dear Black Pill Julia for this one. So, I wouldn't say, thank you. She's not buying it for me. I'm buying it for myself. But nevertheless. Cart. No, we don't. I don't need to do all this part right now. But rest assured, it will be done at the end of the day after the stream. So... Oh, hey, yeah, there's a Discord. Thanks for joining. You send me messages at any time. I get back to you. If I get the notification, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Notifications are fun. They stopped working for a while. Now, I do, by the way, recognize that this is mostly for effect. And even though it is probably physically possible to play with it, dude, it's physically possible to play with anything. Look, here's a Sharpie. here's some nail clippers. So, I mean, like I said, it's physically possible to play with like anything, but I believe that decorative thing is going to earn its a place outside of me playing it. You know what I mean? So it's I will play it a bit, but I mean, it's a pick. I have to. But yeah, that's just neat as all get out. So it's just cute, and it reminds me of my hopper right here. Getting back to picking with regular objects. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pop that off of there. And oh, look, an EPUB reader. Hey, reading. Speaking of, anybody reading any good books lately? I have not technically, but still. I did revisit a movie, though, that I haven't seen since I was a teenager. Communion with Christopher Walken. Not Communion with Christopher Walken, but Communion starring Christopher Walken. Would you like an exercise? I'll be happy to train you, discipline you. We're going to get this thing. You are going to move your fingers. Yes. So, ready? Okay, good. So this is an old one. I've talked about this before, but you're new to the channel, so, you know, there you go. This is a 2-note per string exercise. Technically, it's a 4-note per string exercise, but you'll see what I mean in a second. It's basically making you do this with your pick a lot. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And just fast, you know. I'm glad you're going with me on this. I already started. So give me a second. I'm going to take off the bulk of the gain, because it's always better to practice this kind of stuff with a clean tone, or a cleaner tone, as long as it's, you know, not too accommodating. Take the edge off of that a little so I don't blast everybody's ears off with knife edge notes. I am sorry, but the Prussian school system works very, very little, actually. But I should say, very little, actually. But nevertheless, it's one of my only really good accents. I can do a German accent very, very well. Thank you very much. Why can I do this? I don't know. Maybe in my heritage. I got a little bit in my my DNA. So it's fun. A little bit, mainly like, I don't know, like mostly like Norwegian and German. Done. So anyway. On with the story. Short Norwegian. Have you ever heard of the thing? It's amazing. So that's the German side. So and a little Irish, a little Welsh. I'm all over the place. I'm a mutt. Everybody's a mutt. It's fun. Let's go on. What I was saying though is what we want to do is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Very simple. Very simple. All you have to do is do it again and again. But you're going to incorporate your fingers now. So it is fret 1 to fret 2 on the B string. Then we are going to do fret 4 to fret 3 on the E string. Like so. And notice the picking is the same. 102% Irish. Well, obviously the Irish aren't too good with math. So, that's great, man. That's really, really great. All right. I don't think I can do that if it might be insulting to you about the Lucky Charms and stuff like that. But look, I got the Irish, like I said, so I feel like I qualified a little bit to at least say, top of the morning to you. You know, that's about all I can get out of that. But I've tried. Lord knows I've tried. I can't really do it, though. The Irish accent just doesn't come to me naturally. So it just doesn't. So, and I try, but no. So, nevertheless. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So you got that? Up. Right? Yeah, right. Good. It's all well and good, my friend. All well and good. So this is where you're going to start. This group of fingers is only going from index to middle. This group of fingers is only going on each of these notes from pinky to ring. So then on the same string, so 1 to 2 on the E string, and then 4 to 3 on the B string. All together, I love that one. It's classic, and it really kind of gets you moving in a pentatonic or at least a 2-note per string framework. You don't have to do 2 notes. You can do 1 note, by the way. So, and maybe I should figure out what I'm going to play before I play it, but that's cute. That's cute too. So you have a friend who's talking all the time. He's half Spanish, but he can't speak one word in his language. Oh, well, I can't speak any Norwegian, and I can't speak German, but I have the accent. So it's in my back pocket. Oh, you need a German accent? Hold on. Throw it out there. So this is the exercise, though, and follow me along closely, please. I will play slowly, and you will play along. Now, you're not after speed, okay? You're after fluidity. You want it to be as close as possible to being just right on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. When you get bored with this, you can do more things, like speed it up. And faster. When you get bored there, you can skip strings. So that, what is that helpful for? By the way, what is any of this helpful for? Well, it's finger independence for one. Your fingers don't really like to work in separate groups like this natively. It does sound like horror music. Yeah. Well, I guess horror would be more like this. Right. Good. Figured it out. Great. So this, I got this from Alex Skolnick, not personally, of course, but from a Guitar for the Practicing Musician magazine, long time ago. Maybe 1990, maybe it was 1992. I can't really place it exactly. It's been a long time. So I keep thinking I listened to Metallica in 87, but it wasn't until 88 that I listened to them. So there you go. But you can move it along. Skip strings, like I said before, so. But it's a matter of just keeping it on the beat. Keep that rhythm going. Every single time you down pick should be a beat. Every one of them. So, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cute. You can do that too. But there was an extension to that, as I was saying, the skipping strings. What if you didn't skip them? What if you're now playing it in a string grouping of 3? Just, the same lower, or the same thing exactly, pattern-wise, lower. And using that starting point, or that bit of the end of the phrase as the starting point for where you were playing it already. You do the same with 4 strings. Excuse me. Gotta go backwards there. 6 strings. Just keep going. It's endless until you run out of strings. And that really kind of gets you moving. It's non-musical, but what it does is it trains your fingers and your picking hand to kind of work in conjunction. So you're getting finger independence. You're getting consistent picking, which will allow you to do other things like stuff like that. It's more musical. You can, spread those things out a little bit if you wanted to, as far as like the intervals are concerned. Don't have to be pentatonic box. You could do pentatonic non-box. But it really kind of opens you up because it's the same for that kind of a phrase. It's the same picking. So in this case, also with the again. Same type of thing. But you're training your picking hand more than you're training your left hand for musicality. In this case, your right hand is saying, all right, we can do a lot of things that we couldn't, prior to doing this. I don't mind at all, man. Go right ahead. I would do the same, but you can see most of mine. I said most. There's more. There's 10 more. I'm going to be ordering some more hooks, by the way. I think I need to get some more stuff off the floor. But, yeah. Let's see here. Hello, Discord. Where are we? Hello. There we are. Yo. And... there we go. So I'm saying hello. Yeah, go ahead and send it. I'd be happy to receive. But I do recommend a couple of things for like exercises like this. What I think drummers would refer to as rudiments. Definitely stay like on a clean tone. And when it comes to being musical, nothing reacts like an amp with gain. So practicing clean to play cleanly when you've got gain, it's totally noble. I used to do the same thing. It's fine. But it's going to react differently when it's got gain on it than it will if it doesn't. So it's, yeah, that's great. It's going to feel different. It's going to react differently. And you need to understand how it's going to feel and how it's going to react in order to play well using the gain settings that you're going to use. And no two things are exactly alike. I've got a plumes on right now with a really low gain setting. If I turn on my my extra special overdrive again, it'll be much more gain. It'll still, play well, feel well. If I turn all those off and just play through, I'm not going to turn them all off, but I am going to turn on the rhythm channel here. That's going to react differently too. So it'll play, sound, act differently. See, I love a good Randy Rhoads model, man. That's great. So, very cool. I like the matte blackness. It reminds me of my ESP. So, let's see here. Might as well bring that out. Also, I've got other obligations that I'll be seeing to. I, for the last couple of months, have been needing to do a review and a little song for the pickups that are in the Yamaha right here, which would be the extra special, or the 70s special from Guitar Part Zone. No, dude, I love a good Rhoads model. I think it's one of the classiest, sexiest designs that has ever come out of any guitar shop. And buying more pedals don't make you play better, dude. Just keep that in mind. Pedals will help you want to play, but they don't make you play better. So, and my tuner is on. That's a pedal everybody needs, is a tuner. Heck yeah. It's a lot of gain. Let me turn that down a little. It's a little better for a rhythm channel. So the other exercise I was going to give to you is, and it's a pretty good one, I think, reasonable, gets your fingers moving, and makes you play in an unorthodox fashion because we don't often do this. So there's this thing out there called octaves, and all that really means is an octave is the same note but higher or lower than your starting point. So if I played this and played an octave lower, same note, but played at the same time, in unison. They're a little bit different as you go across the fretboard, for instance. So because of the tuning differences here, you kind of shift up one string, or one fret, from, positionally speaking, skipping a fret and going up two strings. It'll be skipping a fret and going up, or skipping two frets and going up one string. Two strings. See what I'm saying? So this is pretty neat. And we should be kind of... I am using hybrid picking. You don't have to. This is also very good. Yeah, type of deal. I think maybe that... maybe that. There we go. Might take a little bit for us to get that really down, but nevertheless... That's it. So try that. It's kind of musical, but it also kind of helps you skip strings and shift. So position shifting is difficult for a lot of guitar players in the beginning. And this helps you move your hand, which is good to do. And all that is 12th fret to the 14th fret, skipping a string along the way. Next set of strings would be the A string and the G string, skipping a fret. See, there we go. Then one more up. This would be from the A to the B. Right there. So starting on the 14th fret, 16th fret there. Now we're going to go up to E. So that would be 14th fret and 17th fret on the D and the B strings. Shifting up one more to the F sharp. So that would be the 16th fret and the 19th fret. To the 17th and the 20th fret. On the, the G string and the E string. Actually, that's got a nice little tonality to it, too. So you can just... And then ending on the B. You don't have to end on the B. Take everything that I give you and modify it in one way. It doesn't matter what one way that is to make it your own. I mean, like, for instance, this. And the... I mean, I've put a lot of time and effort and... Yeah. How did that... into figuring out different permutations and whatnot. But if you can come up with something else, like maybe play it in threes. Fours, which would be weird, so do it this way. Just come up with a variation. Make something new out of whatever it is that I'm giving you. So you don't have to do this. You could do this. You know, if you want. You have 20. I see it. I mean, you can't do this because there's no bar back there, but what you can do is work on your vibrato in high places. So you know, just do that kind of thing. But this is the core of that exercise. If you wanted to practice more of that by itself, I can recommend this, which is also very good for finger independence. And it's hard. I'm not even used to doing it that way. I'm used to doing a different variation. I'll show you that in a minute. But and just continue. Kind of nuts, but octave, next set of fingers. It's like doing hammer-ons and pull-offs almost. And fun. There's other things you can do. So that's just, and you can do that anywhere. It literally doesn't matter if it's here. It's just a matter of proceeding up a chromatic scale in octaves. And a lot of people do it with regular scales as well. So which kind of helps train you to do things like that. But wow, gosh, so many exercises. Since you're relatively new, and we're going to work on some picky things like that, I think that we should work on something a little different, which is left hand dexterity and a little bit of legato, because now you got a couple of picking exercises. Let's complement that with some left hand specific exercises. So let's do a and you don't have to play it really fast. That's essentially where we're going to go. And I'm not going to say that's the best legato exercise in the world, but it is an exercise that's somewhat musical and will get you moving. This is a 10th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret, 6th fret. And the reason why I chose those is because it's making you change the way you're holding. I mean, it'd be really a lot easier if it was just... But the reason why I want to change it is because it makes you alter the way you're actually, approaching this. Your fingers will not remain in the same place, here to there. Don't be scared. I'll be holding your hand the whole way. You'll be fine. So, allow me to say it like this. You're approaching a zone, an area in space and time dedicated just for you to make your digits move in ways that they have yet to do until now. And just to highlight the notes, I'm going to play it with a pick. We played it over in A. This is A, Aeolian, essentially. Okay. So A, Aeolian is A minor. It is also a minor scale. Yes, holding hands the whole way. 10th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. B string would be 10th fret, 8th fret, 6th fret. Shift down one. And that would be to the 5th fret. Up on the 6th and 8th. Then on the next string, 5, 7, 8. So this is both finger independence and it's dexterity building. So you can do what I just did with picking it. I would kind of prefer that you didn't do that. I mean, you can just to keep it rhythmic, and that's fine, but the work should progress to starting with nothing. It's called hammering from nowhere. And that's, in other words, there's no note preceding it that you've picked. You're just hammering on. And goofing up. And that hammer from nowhere, it takes time. Don't get with relative ease. So hammering from nowhere with relative ease. So hammering from nowhere, volume lower. And you can break that up into different chunks too, little segments, right? So we'll bust this up into a descending 6 pattern. And ascending 6 pattern. Then put them together. You can even just go straight up. You're going to need to pick that because you can't hammer on. You can hammer on and go back down. Remember, a pull-off is your finger being the pick for you from a fretted note. I'm just pulling off the string, literally pulling down. Let's see if I can do this. That's about right. It's weird to play like that, but it's a thing. And if you feel like you want to learn scale patterns after that, continue up the scale. So, you get the point. Maybe I should actually do that to show you it's possible. And not go back to G minor. Yep. I should practice what I talk about. But anyway, that's the effectively the end of that. So if you feel like that's something that you want to practice, you can. I'm certainly feeling like it's something I want to practice at this point. But excuse me. But that's that. So remember this picking exercise. That's actually good for things like this. Good stuff. Yeah, totally do. I mean, I could just shotgun approach and say, here is all the stuff. But there's way too much. I've been playing for 38 years this year. So 37 years this year. 37 years? Yeah, 37. I'm in my 38th year, but songs. You can do all that kind of noodly solo stuff all you want, and I recommend that you at least attempt it, you try it, you try to familiarize yourself, become comfortable with it, and then begin to play it with some sort of authority where, you know, you're really whacking the strings and it sounds like you mean it. That's good. There's other things, though, that are important, especially because we don't just play guitar because of the leads. We also play guitar usually because of the rhythms that we hear. So when we're learning songs, such as Symptom of the Universe, yeah, but again, don't let your heart be troubled, because I could do almost everything that I can do now within 4 or 5, maybe 6 years of playing. So by the time I was 22, for instance, the majority of the technique that I have now was already pretty firmly established. And that doesn't mean that I haven't continued to grow, but there were speed barriers still left to break. You know, I was mostly a legato player at the time, but I could pick fast, you know. But the better a rhythm player you are, the better a lead player you can be. So, good. Okay. So you're already kind of there. So let's expand your horizons just a wee little bit. But what? With what shall we expand your horizons? You don't have to learn the lead for it, but Tornado of Souls is calling you. So that's a little more active than the Metallica-y stuffs. Or if you were going to do more Metallica, do Mustaine era Metallica with like what is that? You know, Jump in the Fire, that kind of thing. It's a little bit more active. One of the songs that I learned really early on that I thought was very, very helpful was, you know, which is arguably Diamond Head, of course. Whiplash. God, how did that go? The only thing I remember about Whiplash offhand is that live, typically James says Dick Rash, which is hilarious. Seek and Destroy, of course. Hey, you weren't working on Ride the Lightning, right? It sounds like you're doing pretty good for yourself, actually. The thing there, which we didn't really talk about with the, is after that they do some. And that's pretty cool. I gotta say that. Right? Oh, good. Yeah, lots of palm muting on the opening. That's thrash metal for you right there. The majority of it, the bulk majority of it. So good. I'm glad to hear it. There is this part that actually, how did that go? That'll get you jumping around quite a bit, but it's worthwhile. Definitely worthwhile. So if you're having any trouble with that, the only thing I can really recommend is that the finish on the back of your neck be nice and smooth. Otherwise, your thumb might get stuck. You know, you know, make sure that it's clean and dry. Some people use talcum powder. I don't. What I typically do is I sand down the neck, and not all of it, of course, but take some 220 grit. You know, take some of the finish off, and it makes it feel a whole lot better. Not all of the finish, just some of it. If you do take off all the finish, well, it's time to, you know, grab the tongue oil, apply it with a 50-50 cut of high-grade alcohol, and you know, let it dry. Do it again. Let it dry. Do it again. Go over it with some steel wool, and you'll be much happier. But this, yes. Beastly riff, very Mustaine, and of course he had a hand in the whole thing, so there's that. I was talking about Trapped Under Ice the other week, and you know, that's another one that I can recommend just because this, it's very Slayer. It works. It's a nice one. What was I going to tell you though? As far as I have a couple of instructional videos, tutorials I call them. If you go to my channel, and you just do a video search. So under videos, and you do a video search that says tutorial. I have a lot of them, and I have a few of them. And there will be more. There was one, for instance, that Zuhair recommended that or requested that I do. Actually, it was Rafi, which was Insanity from King Diamond. I'll have to relearn that completely to do that. But still, a lot of the stuff that I have up there is pretty good old school thrash, like Nuclear Assault. And there's a couple of King Diamond ones as well. But Nuclear Assault seems to have a pretty good following, and I like the crap out of Nuclear Assault's first... I should say second and third albums. So those are my favorites. I do like Game Over, though. There's a really good tune called Vengeance, for instance. That's right. So it's in the city of fear of the eyes burning in hell is a small price to pay. Now that my vengeance will have its day. Pretty good stuff, actually. I really, really, really dig the crap out of Nuclear Assault, and that's the first song I ever learned, by the way, on electric. Other than that, I was doing things like I'm not entirely. The first one I learned from pretty much front to back was Iron Maiden. That's and that was about a year after I started playing. So if you're already less than a year in and you can do stuff like that, more power to you, bro. You've got a good future ahead of you. So, and then of course. Fear of the Dark, dude, great tune. I actually undertook to learn that a few years ago, and I remember nothing about it at all. But a few years back, I was learning Fear of the Dark, and I considered doing a cover of it. But I want to do the live one, and that's I mean, it's the same, but it's a little different. I just think it has really, really great energy. So, and when I say the live one, they came out with a music video for it back in 1994, maybe, possibly 93. And at that time, I mean, it was very raw. It was very good. It was well produced. Raw as in like energy, not production value. Great stuff. But I recommend that one because it feels so good. And the audience participation with the, oh, whoa, the singing along with the melody like many people do. It's really great. It gives you a great vibe. And yeah, I don't know. If I was to do that, that's what I would pursue if I were you. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Every Maiden song is a lot of fun. Well, some of it's really challenging, but it's mostly just a lot of fun to play. I mean, everybody in the world does this, you know. How do I go? That's it. You just have to play it, right? But from the coast. Actually, that's fun because it's an augmented. You get the sevenths in there. It's very cool. It's very Adrian Smith all the way. That's it. Good stuff. Wasted Years. Fantastic to play along with. Fun. Another one that I could probably recommend. I mean, look, I could recommend lots of them. I used to play along with the Trooper 2 years in all day long. It was just... Harmony. That's it. So the harmony to that would be here. So something like that. I forgot. I'll learn it again. Anyway, but that really kind of gets you moving. You take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire your musket, but I'll run you through. So when you're waiting for the next attack, just stand. There's no turning back. Oh. Peace Cells actually still gives me trouble. Not all of it. I mean, the whole thing with the whole... that type of thing doesn't really, but the... yeah. Now, I want you to pay attention to what I just did there. Or possibly. This and this is extremely similar. This is Dave using his own riffs that he wrote for Metallica and altering them slightly, making completely different songs out of them, but still being able to use his own riffs. That, because Peace Cells and Ride the Lightning have a lot in common with those riffs right there. So, different notes, same pattern, same shape, different accents. So they are different, but it's reuse. That's what it is. It's like I wrote these. These are mine. So what am I going to do? Well, I mean, they have the copyright to them. I guess I could change them a little bit, but they're my riffs. So, and I get it. I get it completely. I'm totally for that. So Metallica wrote them all. It's Metallica. Yeah, dude. Okay, now my eyesight, adjusted a little bit on that, but yeah, dude, Metallica, dude, didn't they ever? Let's see. I think that's Whiplashish. Other things I could recommend, of course, would be like Disposable Heroes, the whole... that kind of thing. Very fun. Orion. You just keep in mind that this part... was Cliff. That's the bass. For us, it would be... glad you tried the solos. Oh, man. That's why I did the I Am a Viking cover. It was for my mother, who is also deceased. So, yeah. She loved Yngwie. I don't know why my mom got so hooked into the Yngwie thing, but she was a devotee. So, yeah. That's cool, man. That's really cool. I'm glad you did it. So, going back to that. No. I have to remember all this crap, and I can't. Then the F sharp. Something like that, okay? So, and then the coolest bass line in there, besides the, where's the, that's it. I remember. So many things are about memory, and I don't really have much. For this tone, you want to kind of soup it up a little bit. Neck pickup. Soup it up. Right. So. Should be here. Right here. So pretty too. Do a full step, yes. But you got to do them at the same time, so you're going to get a little transient in there. Or, excuse me. From shifting from here to here. And that alone. Can't really do it together. Not right. This is what harmonies are about. Play with another person or yourself. Play with yourself. Have a good time. Yes, I actively encourage everyone out there to play with themselves. But no, man, the Metallica shit and I go way back. I still say Tornado of Souls would be a good rhythm for you to tackle. Peace Cells notwithstanding. This will break you a little bit out of the box of the... Or, I mean, it's still all kind of the same stuff, but the you don't have to do that when you can do other things. How do I... Don't remember all that crap, but you know, it's a thing. You can do it. Fun. It can be. It can be a lot of fun, especially when you get it down and you're able to actually accomplish. But yeah, Orion is one of my favorite tunes from them as well. And it really broke my heart how they didn't have an instrumental, by the way, on the Black Album. They always have an instrumental on, except for Kill 'Em All, but they set a precedent for the following 3 albums. Have an instrumental in there, you know. So anyway, rest in peace on the Saint Love Master of Puppets in that area. It is in a way. A different take on it. I mean, I still say that Megadeth is not the same Megadeth that I really listened to growing up. It was for me, that's So Far So Good So What all over the place, and maybe even Peace Sells, and yes, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. This was a seed change for them. For one, Marty Friedman is amazing, yes, but all the songs were written prior to Marty's ascension to the guitar mastery position in that band. So it was a happier Mustaine. All of it was, except not Five Magics, maybe. Yeah, it would have been sick. Agreed. But the Five Magics thing is definitely up there. Oh, this was good. That's a great riff. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. Something like that. I don't know. Oh, here's something that you can do. Unison bends if you're not used to them. All right, well, I too will go, actually. I must also eat and get ready for the day. Now that I don't have to buy a freaking overdrive pedal, I'm pretty happy about that, gotta say. I'm happy with what I got now. I'm okay with what I got. My pedal board doesn't need to change. I'm probably still going to buy one anyway at some point in the future, but that's besides the point. Nevertheless, good stream and a good send-off, because although I'm not going to be back on the regular, I may pop in on occasion and do one of these as kind of like a freak accident. Oh my God, how did I get on stream today? But do hopefully look forward to more content from me in a way that I used to present it. Little lessons, actual, full tutorials, and for God's sakes, covers. I miss doing those. So Triumphant Return. Don't know exactly when that's set to. I still got other shit going on. But I hope everybody out there does extremely well. And practice, for God's sakes, play faster. It's a beautiful thing to do. You should try it. But take care. Mic on the show. I actually use 3 mics. So this will be a quick answer to this question. So this right here is a V67G from MXL. I love it very much. It is a good mic. I don't really think I need to upgrade. I enjoy it. I have an MXL 9090 upstairs. I'm an MXL guy. I'm just going to tell you now. But the 9090 and this, they sound very similar. There's a little more high end to the 9090. This is very good. Down below, miking my two speakers in the cabinet, I've got two different speakers, and I think I've mic'd them accordingly. So one speaker has more high and low end and less mid. The other one has more mid and less high and low end. And between the two, I've got on the high and low end, I've got a Shure SM57, which is very articulate. Articulate? Sure. It's very articulate and picks up everything. On the other side, I have a MXL, I want to say R40. It's a ribbon mic. So you got to be careful with those. But the way the two pick things up together and the way everything's kind of mixed is it's a very good blend, and it's a very close representation of what I'm actually hearing in the room out of the cabinet. I know because every stream that I do, I go back and I watch the stream at some point in the future to dissect, all right, what was my sound problem? Like this today, I started without this on. Whoops. But what was my sound problems? Did I have any, real interesting tidbits that I want to snip out and then like make a short out of? Stuff like that. It's kind of like, and I recommend this too. If you can record yourself playing and then critique yourself, but be real about the critique. If you actually played well, acknowledge that. If you didn't, figure out why and fix it. That's what it's for. It's just for, it's like a reflective process. But you're using your higher consciousness, your best self, involved this. You can't cheat yourself. Otherwise, you're just lying to yourself. It sucks. Don't do that. But the best thing for you is to just kind of record it, play it back, and play it back with honesty. What did I do wrong? How many times did I screw up? What do I need to work on? If anything, everybody has something to work on. But it's inescapable. Everybody has something to work on. I've got a lot to work on. But that's essentially the meat and the potatoes of it for the microphone situation. And most of the time, like I said, I think it actually sounds like what I'm hearing here. So that's good. And it doesn't matter what set of speakers or headphones that I'm listening on. It sounds like here. So you're getting a fairly accurate representation by this setup. Anyway, I do wish you all well. Although I will not be back on stream on any scheduled basis. I hope everybody does great things out there. Play like a mother and enjoy what you play, for God's sakes. The more fun you have, the more want you'll have of doing it. So take it easy out there, and wish me luck. And I wish you all luck. So goodbye.